fine.
Yes, we can see you.
It's so great to talk to this lovely kids. I mean, this is my first time that I'm speaking to kids about AI, which is something that I haven't even imagined in the past. So thanks, Clever AI for giving this opportunity. I would like to thank Harshit Kohli for getting in touch with me and also wanted me to speak on this topic. So a big thanks to the team, to the tech team.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. It's a pleasure on our part as well.
Yeah. So may I know where are these guys from? So where are you from?
So we are based in Noida, and we have our students from all over. So that is why, sir, some of you greeted you good morning while it's good evening for the rest. So we have students for all over. We have from Australia, Dubai. We have kids joining from all over the globe.
Okay. Yeah, I could see a lot of responses, which is actually good. So because even adults on the video calls, they don't respond properly.
Yes.
But we have got so many responses already.
Yes.
So just to name a few, just to encourage them. Ibrahim is from Saudi, Khaira from Dubai, Sarah from England, and yeah, Salma from England as well. Jordan. Oh, awesome. That's an awesome list. So somebody is writing from Australia and it is midnight.
Yes, so we have.
Cool.
Yes, they are joining us from different time zones.
Awesome. So yeah, let me share my screen. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
you
sir.
see the...
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So yeah. Anybody still have issues with the screen or the
No, sir.
presentation?
No, sir.
No.
Sir, your screen
No,
is
sir.
not showing to me.
Who is that? Can you raise your hands or put it in the chat?
Sir, I raised my hand.
Okay. For Prashita Kapoor, the screen isn't showing. Can someone from the tech team help her out?
Can you please check your internet connection, because it's visible for us. It's clearly visible. Can you please check your internet connection once?
Okay.
Or what you can do is you can log out and then log back in.
And for every...
Also,
yes, you can log in again.
yeah, and also another option is to have your video off if you face any video issue, internet issues. You're on mute, Rashida.
Now your screen is showing to me.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so all set. Anyone else in the group who is still having issues with the computer or the screen?
No, sir.
All good.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Let's
Perfect.
begin.
Yes. So that is me that you see on the screen. So I'm originally coming from India. I come from Chennai, and I'm right now living in Munich, Germany, since 2013. So it's been 8 years of my life in Germany, and this is just a little introduction to you guys, just to know about who I am and what I do. So I'm currently working with Siemens as a data analytics expert, and then soon will be jumping into my own venture shortly. And as you see on the poster, I've been adjudged one of the top 20 plus inspiring data scientists to be followed on LinkedIn, and also rated as one of the top 40 data scientists from India. So when I got this poster, I was a little bit confused because it had 3 different time zones: Indian time zone, UAE, and EST as well. I was a little bit confused why you have so many time zones, but now the screen answers the question that I had in mind. So I welcome you all for this lovely session. So just like I mentioned, I have never ever imagined that I'll be talking to students about AI, where I have had sessions with them regarding various topics about career options that they can pick, about simple mathematical topics. But this is something that, to be honest, I haven't even imagined. So kids learning AI and kids learning machine learning is something that that has been a normal recently. So if you guys are using internet, down there you see my website. It's my name, vijaypravin.com, where you can also see what I do, what activities that I do take part. And like I said, that's me on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if this makes a lot of sense to you. I'm not sure LinkedIn will be used by a lot of kids, but yeah, just to be sure that I'm being followed by a lot of people here, more than 40,000 people. So yeah, probably someone from the tech team or the organizers can follow me if you are not following it. So why AI and what is AI? Artificial intelligence, right? I mean, it is widely talked about by various people across the globe. So a lot of adults, a lot of experienced people, a lot of industrialists talk about AI and artificial intelligence. But what does it do? What impact does it have? So to answer your question, it's a little way off topic to what you guys are, but nevertheless there is a term called Fortune 500. So these are the top companies in the world. Can someone name any big company in this world? Any big company? You can text.
Big company.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Amazon.
NASA.
Sir, the Amazon.
Microsoft.
Amazon.
Microsoft.
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 Can you yeah
iOS.
Google
Amazon.
and Amazon.
Can you use
Apple.
the chat box? Can you use the chat box, guys? So
Android.
that it is also not disturbing others, because if you talk all at a time, then it gets a bit messy, right?
Yes, we can't hear anyone. So what we can do is we can write in the chat. So sir will call out one by one whatever you typed in.
Yes. So already there are a lot of people writing in the chat box. Like Pranav says Microsoft, Ranak says Samsung, Rohan says iOS. iOS is not a company; it is an operating system. So Apple releases iOS. So that is Apple, Rohan. And Avinash says Microsoft. Pratishta says Amazon. So brilliant guys. Abdul says Sony. So this is what is called as Fortune 500 companies. So imagine if almost half of the companies are pushed outside the list. So we have a list of top 500. Okay, so let's imagine a class that you are in, and there will be top 10 students or top 3 students, right? So like that, we have this Fortune 500 companies in the world. So AI has influenced, and it has kicked out almost half of the existing companies from the Fortune 500 companies list. So that is what AI can do. It is disruptive, it is massive, and it has changed the fortunes of many companies across the globe. So there are wonderful answers from Satvik. Satvika says Tesla. Byron says Nike. Yaschit says Nerf. Ashna. So brilliant, brilliant guys. So yeah, going into what is AI. So what is artificial intelligence? So today the topic is AI, and I'm going to talk about AI and how Alexa is able to speak like a human. What do you know about AI? Again, guys, please make use of the chat box. I'll make you answer one by one when the time comes. What do you know about artificial intelligence? Do you know any applications? Any applications that uses AI? Any mobile apps? Exactly. Awesome. Twarita says Siri. Tishum says Siri. Siri on your iPhone or your mom or dad's iPhone or mobile, any mobile phone, is an AI product. Awesome. Alexa, of course, the topic. Somebody says it from the topic. Google Home, Google Assistant. Exactly. So, and someone says, Vivan says face recognition. That is an awesome example. Kirtana says autopilots. Cool. And Parthiv says AI is a bot that acts like a human. Yes. Awesome. Awesome answers. Autopilot, Cortana, Oppo. Oppo is a mobile, I wonder, Aryan. But yeah, Oppo might have a voice feature, voice enabled feature. Google, Siri, a lot of Siri, a lot of Alexas in the answers. Thanks, that's brilliant. So, you as kids, of course, you love stories, right? So, how many of you like stories? Raise your hands. So there is a hand raise option. Awesome. Ranak is in fact raising his own hand, not virtually. He's lifting his physical hands. It's so good to see. So yes, there are quite a couple of guys waiting in the waiting room. So can tech team admit them? And yeah, so I could see almost 20 plus participants raising their hands for loving their stories. So AI is again, you can link it with stories. So if you have to understand AI, then you have to understand stories and you have to understand the data that is behind the stories. So what does a story give? Of course, as you see on the screen, it gives people ideas, right? How many of you got ideas from listening to a story? Raise your hands. How many of you have got or had an idea after listening to a story? Or let's say you see so many pictures here, right, on the screen. So there is a story can give you idea. A story could be powerful. A story can be memorable. For instance, it can be funny. I know a lot of guys used to hear funny stories, right? Comedies, funny, and it could be emotional. I know people cry while seeing a movie or hearing a story. So which of this is more relatable to you? Can you write it in the text box? So you might have seen a lot of stories, a lot of Divjot says imaginations. Yashika says my voice is breaking sometimes. Okay, if it is persistent, please let me know because I just check my internet and it's fine. Okay. So anyone else? Okay, so Hendra says she gets emotional when she hears stories. Zainab is ideas. Nadir is fond of funny stories. Mohita is again emotional. Awesome. So you guys hear a lot of stories, right? So That's the whole point. So if somebody is asking if the session is recorded, yes, it is. It is a recorded session. You will get to see it. Probably the organizers will let you know where you can find this later. Awesome. So do you know any story that is linked with data? Let's say these many number of people went to this particular place or forest, and they got this amount of money or this amount of wealth. Can you think of any data from any story that you have heard so far? Yes, there is. Yes, from Kaira, not much from Pranav. Jatin says he has a book about Scratch and Python. Okay. Okay, there are some S's and there are some no's. It's fine. So the underlying concept of AI is, of course, data. With data, you can train the computer. You can say the computer to, you can dictate terms. You can say, okay, do this and do that. How does computer know that it should raise a hand? I mean, how many of you know robots? Of course, robotics is a famous subject, right? Robots are also a byproduct of, let's say, data science and AI. So if a robot has to raise its right hand, how does it know? It is with the help of data, right? Only if you feed data, computer will understand, okay, I have to raise the right hand. That is possible with data. Okay, you got my point? So computer or a machine understands language in a different way, right? You speak English, some speak Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, German, French, Urdu, for instance, people from Australia, English. So you speak this language, but what does computer speak? They need to understand, right?
Binary numbers.
Exactly. So they understand binaries.
Binary.
So only if we input data and that translates into binary, then the computer understands, okay, this is the operation that I have to do. And then the robot or whatever application that you have just said, let's say voice recognition or face recognition, that is a byproduct of AI, which is a technology. So AI is nothing but a technology. Artificial intelligence is an emerging technology that makes a lot of things possible in the recent years. So Yashchit says we get data from anything. That is true. So we get data from literally every single point. So as humans, we interact. I'm just talking over this video. That is a data. And somebody posts a picture on Instagram. That is a data, right? A picture is a data. A Google map location is a data. Video is a data. Text is a data. WhatsApp message is a data. So data has various forms, but we make the computer understand the various types of data in order to accomplish our goals. Okay, you understand? You follow? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So computer understands binary, machine learning. I am just reading the answers just for me to understand whether you guys are following or not. Because yeah, data is any video, picture, or any message. Exactly, Marcus Fernandez, you're right. Data is of any form. A text message can be a data, a voice message can be a data, a picture, a video, an audio. So data can be of any form. Okay. Okay. So artificial intelligence, how does that work? So like you guys said, zeros and ones are the only factors that a computer understands. So people build several programming languages. Do you know any programming language by any chance? Any programming language that you know?
Python.
Awesome.
Python, JavaScript, CC.
Java, C++,
Node.js.
Python,
Node.js. Node.js.
Python.
Use textbooks. Thanks for the answers, but I expect a lot on the chat window, because if you speak, then it gets messy, right? Because we are 60, more than 60 people, and it's hard if 4 or 5 speak at a multiple time. Okay, so I got several answers again. Python, SQL from Kirtana Srirangam, Java, Python from Sriniti. Vivan says C++. Zainab says, I know a little bit of Java. I'm not sure about your age, but at this age, I was just choosing white color or black color pen to write. So that was back then. So I'm so happy and proud to talk to such brilliant kids, because back in my days, I'm now 30, and when I was doing my schools, I didn't get a chance to learn these programs. So in fact, I'm a little jealous of you all. Just on a funny note. So Twarita says Python, HTML, CSS, and so on. So awesome, brilliant. I should definitely take some classes afterwards. So I should definitely take few Python classes and C++ classes from you guys. So yeah, brilliant. So you guys are making use of the chat box and it's flooding. That's awesome. So what are all the applications? We discussed voice recognition. We discussed facial recognition, Alexa's, Google Home, and whatnot. So we discussed a lot, right? We discussed several things. So just give me a second. So what in what all fields AI can be applied? It's a more generic question. So let's say car industry, automotive. This is one sector where AI can be applied. You might have heard about automated cars, right? Self-driving cars. You might have heard about it. That is a product of AI. So how come a car knows that there is a pedestrian crossing the road? It is, of course, with a detection.
Sir, it has sensors on its front that tells it.
Chat window.
Has sensors in front.
Yes. So somebody says it can be applied in motor industry, apps and websites, healthcare. Oh, who is that? Marcus. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Facebook. Okay, so I see a lot of people telling about Facebook and YouTube. What's the exact application that you see on Facebook or YouTube? Where do you see AI? So if you log on to YouTube, you see a list of videos, right?
Yes.
I am asking about the particular section where AI is applied. Do you know it by any chance? Exactly. Oh my God. I got the answers from Kaira, Kirtana,
recommendations, sir.
Yes, recommendation engines. Exactly. So if you are listening to a set of songs, it is added to a list of recommendations, right? That is, in fact, an application that involves AI and machine learning. So if you ask me, I would say data is the bigger circle. Machine learning is a little smaller circle inside data, and then artificial intelligence lies at the center of data science and machine learning. So only if you make the machine learn and then teach the machine multiple times, then it gives out the desired result that you would expect. Okay, so yes, exactly. Somebody says there is the AI in the background with the algorithms. So you're right. So what's the AI example that you see here? What is it? Again, text box, please.
Filters.
Okay. Okay, what else? Filters, and then just see it clearly.
I got it. It's using
Headphones.
No, it's exactly. It's from Ahmad Anusha. Ahmad Ilyas says face recognition.
face recognition.
Yes, that's the word that I was looking for. So of course there are filters. There is a boy and a girl with a smiling face. So AI is able to detect in this picture what it is detecting. So there are two people.
Detecting face.
That is fine. And apart from face, what is it telling you?
Emotion.
Exactly. It teaches you, it tells you emotions. It tells you it is a girl or a boy. It
Her
detects
age.
gender.
Her age.
It detects age. So what you see here is several things. It detects gender. First of all, it goes on and sees, okay, this should be a girl. She has a long hair and a cute smile. Doesn't mean that boys don't have a good smile. So it detects the gender and it detects emotions. It says happy girl, right? So that is, of course, Abdul says boys have long hair too. Of course, boys have long hair. But how does it tell you that it is a girl? That is the machine learning. That is the ability of the machine to learn millions and millions of samples. So how many of you use touchscreen mobile phones? How many of you use touchscreen mobile phones?
Sir, I have an iPad.
Awesome. So you might have an iPhone or iPad or any
Sir,
tablet.
I have a laptop which is touchscreen.
Super Mohita. So there are so many people. In fact, I guess almost everybody uses touchscreen. So back in my days, touchscreen or getting a touchscreen mobile phone is not an easy thing. We used number pad. We used to press numbers one by one in order to call people. So how does it know if you swipe right or swipe left, it goes to the next page? That is machine learning.
Using data.
Yes, exactly. That is, in fact, with the help of data, the machine has been trained several times. So if you are using laptop, then there is this laptop scratch pad, right? The pad that you use to navigate, touchpad. So you touch it twice, you touch it thrice, you do the zoom. How does it know this? Again, because of the data that has been fed. So I'm coming back to the point that somebody said, even boys do have long hairs. Of course they do, but that is only one parameter that it takes. It sees so many parameters. It sees the color of the hair, it sees the eyes, it sees the nose, it scans the entire picture of it, and it tries to resembles. It goes, there is a data repository. It goes to the data repository and checks if this can be a boy or this can be a girl. And then it gives out happy girl because she is smiling, right? Of course, you cannot deny the fact that she is happy. So happy girl of 11 years. That is again an estimate. The computer has been fed several millions of times of pictures of girls aged from 1 to, let's say, even 100. I don't mind saying 100. So it knows that this girl is approximately 11 years old. So is AI accurate? Do you believe that this picture is correct? Happy girl of 11 years. Is it accurate?
Not always.
Yes, exactly. So AI is not always accurate. Yes, somebody says once we have the data and we train it well, it gets more and more accurate. So we don't have fully automated cars yet, right? We have automated cars, but
Of an AI not being accurate. Suppose there's a girl of 12 years, and by mistake the AI might guess it to be 11 by instance.
yes, there are mistakes. I mean, mistakes are bound to happen even with human or machine. But right now, the machine error rate is a bit higher than what we do, but it is getting improved. I mean, I still remember the days when I used touchscreen mobile phone where we used to swipe hard. Literally, there will be impressions of my finger on the phone. But nowadays, with a simple swipe, you can see a lot of things happening. So that is AI. Recommendation systems is AI. Chatbots. How many of you have interacted with chatbots? Chatbots are there on many websites. If you go on to
I've interacted with some.
yeah, just use text box. Sorry
They're
again.
like scanning fingerprints in phone.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Okay. So Pranav says they are the most bad beings in the world. Not exactly, Pranav. So AI machines saves us a lot of time, and of course they help us in wonderful applications. Of course, you might know about COVID, Corona situation. So even that AI, machine learning, and data science was used and effective in finding out the proper vaccinations. So usually the vaccination takes about 7 to 10 years to find. But with the help of AI, people were able to reduce the number of failures that they can have. So it is up to us to whether use it in a right way or in a wrong way. Just give me a second. Yes. So what next? This is again another example. So can be wrong, 36 years old, 9 years old, could be wrong, could be right, but that's how AI it is. So how does Alexa speak? So from the information that I have given, can anybody type in how can Alexa speak like a human?
Speech synthesis.
Yeah, give it in the chat box so that everybody can.
AI.
Can everybody read, right? You should write it in the chat box. Sorry. So how can Alexa speak like a human? Can anybody answer that in the chat box? Using NLP, a human recorded her voice. Okay,
Awesome.
data, AI, program, AI, ML, put it on Alexa. Okay, so the baseline is data. Okay, so now we know from touchscreen mobile phones or YouTube recommendations, we have the data. So if you swipe right, it goes right. So how many million fingers?
Mostly
data?
extensions as well.
Yes.
As I do in Scratch,
yeah.
I use
so
extensions to cover speech or videos.
Yeah. So data is the underlying fact, and then we use machine learning and artificial intelligence. Those are algorithms and programming. So they give inputs. So let's say you ask Alexa, what's the weather? What's the weather outside? And it says 20 degrees, and then it recommends you to take an umbrella if it rains, right? So it has weather data, and it has a recognition system that recognizes your voice. So how many of you have realized when you set up an Alexa or a Google assistant or a Siri, it asks you to repeat certain stuffs. So it lets you speak because it should able to.
I made a chatbot also, but it's from Microsoft only. And when I was making it, I came to know the background of a chatbot. So I went to 3 types, like topics, then processing,
Mhm.
and then after that output.
Okay. So yeah, it's a good work. I mean, you building a chatbot at this age is impeccable. So yeah, we'll get back to that in some time. So for people, Alexa, data is the underlying concept, and we have machine learning and AI that is on top, and that is able to train Alexa that tries to tell her, okay, if he's asking for weather, then you go and grab that information from the internet. You check what's the weather in Sydney, what's the weather in Dubai, and it gives out the information. And it recognizes your voice and it fetches information. And sometimes, if you ask any questions that a machine doesn't understand, it simply says, "Sorry, I don't understand." Right? So that is again an input that has been fed it by default. Got it? So again, coming back to why you guys are learning AI for let's say for kids. Of course, it promotes data fluency because you yourself said that data has multiple data types: image, video, MP4, MP3, picture, JPEG, and so on. And of course, it can boost your imagination. I mean, somebody has built chatbot. Without imagination, Parthiv wouldn't have done a chatbot, right? So it boosts imagination and it
Yes.
does problem solving skills. And of course, since you guys are learning it at a very early age, you guys will have a much better career prospects because AI will be the future because everything is digitalized. And how many of you know blockchain as well? Blockchain is going to be the next financial model. So with things are coming up in line, this will be the future. So AI is a thing that that is used to train people or train system to act like a human. So to summarize, I would call it that way. Imagine a box. You instruct the box to do what you say, right? So one of the earliest phone recording conversations was done in 1860, but during that time we didn't have a playback. You cannot hear what you spoke, but now we have voice recordings. So we can input any number of voice inputs to the Siri or Alexa, so that in return it is able to speak. Right? You're able to get my point a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So do you have any questions? Because I'm speaking for almost 40 minutes. Do you have any questions?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sign up.
So sometimes, say I try speaking in Google Assistant, sometimes it translates the wrong words, so it gets
Okay.
very annoying. So, like, why does it translate the wrong words? Why does it?
So like when you're speaking the word, it's saying the wrong word in the speech.
Yeah. So like I said, AI is not 100% correct. So we are working on AI. I mean, the human race is working on AI for the last few decades. So we don't have a proper AI system from the past, from 100 years. It is just 1 or 2 decades old. So we are inputting several data in terms of voice or text. So it will take some time for a machine to clearly understand what you speak. And of course, everybody have our own accents, right? So for instance, Ashit Das has his own style of speaking. Ibrahim speaks his own way. Ranak is different with his voice. So it tries to recognizes various voices. So if it is, let's say from Vijay, it recognizes, okay, that should be Vijay. That is his voice. But if it is Anusha, it is a different voice. So likewise, people have different voices, like the fingerprints that we have in our hands. Why do they take fingerprints? Because it is different from one person to another. That is an identity for a person. So like that, voice.
Sir, even our eyes, the iris.
Yes, exactly. Iris is also different.
What about tongue prints or the GNA code?
Exactly. So like that, we have also voice is a different identity. Of course, people do mimicries, but it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's always a slight difference of, well, if you really calculate it, such as if anyone meows like a cat and they say that it's exactly like a cat, it's not. It's somewhat higher pitch than that cat or lower pitched than that cat.
Yeah, you're right. So that is true. So
there is one reason why Google always takes wrong words. It's because the first time Google was invented, it was in the USA. So the API which Google uses to recognize is from USA, right? So if some Indian speaks a word, the API can't understand some words because of the voice.
Yes, of course, you said a right point. I mean, when it was invented, it had probably one or two accents, because US people speak a different way than to UK people in UK, London. They have a British accent, and people from India, they do have a different accent. For instance, Germans, they speak English in a different accent. So it is regional. I mean, not regional at this point. It will take time to incorporate several regional accents as well. So it is an evolution. By the time you become adults, by the time you reach 30s, you will see a bigger and more perfect AI in picture. So it will take time, and you should understand that AI has flaws. Of course, everybody knows that. Even your recommendation engines on YouTube, it is not a perfect recommendation engine, right? You might hear certain songs, but ultimately some songs will come into the mix which you don't like. So it has faults everywhere, and yeah, it all depends. So any questions? Any more questions?
Sir, I have a question.
And
No
I also
questions
see
from
that
me.
you already have a feedback form. If somebody needs to fill in, please fill in. Yes, Yashika, go ahead.
Sir, I was asking that you said Alexa, like she speaks like a human. So how does the human record the voice in a data system? Like the human, he puts the voice in the data system and then it gets recorded, or
Yes, the initial, I mean, there are different ways that inputs has been given. So it is not just you go and speak to an Alexa and it understands, but even before you buy an Alexa, there are millions and millions of voice recordings has been incorporated. Let's say we have millions of phone conversations that is available on the open market. Let's say on YouTube, we have millions of commentators commentating events like football, cricket, and then basketball, NBA. So the amount of voice, the amount of audio.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
While we are talking in some IMO or something, how it brings the voice to another person?
So that is of course with the help of data science. So if you search it in Google, you might find it on Facebook, right? You can go on to Facebook and see the exact same word that you typed in Google. So that is more like grabbing your data. That is actually not so good, but companies are doing it, because if you realize whatever applications that you use for free, let's say WhatsApp is free, Facebook is free, Instagram is free, whatever applications that you use it for free has these implications. So they use your data. Let's say if you go on to Google and search for Cocomelon videos that some kids watch it at your home, then it brings you at let's say any other platform on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. So data is everywhere. Data is getting translated everywhere. So don't get afraid that I searched for this guy on this application, but how can it appear on Facebook? So don't worry. That's the modern day living. So your data is everywhere. Okay. So how was the class so far? Did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Somebody is already asking.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have one more doubt regarding to the form.
Yes, sir.
So somebody is already asking, do we have classes every day? I would love to take classes every day for you guys because you guys are so lovely. And I just wanted to have a generic AI topic on Alexa, not getting into deep. But yeah, if that's the case, I'm happy to do it again for you guys in some time. But yeah, lovely talking to you. I gained a lot of information from you, from so many guys. I'm sure that the text box is the most hit today. It had more than 500 plus messages, I believe. And I wish you guys go ahead and keep going. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, guys.
So,
Yeah. Thanks.
chance, everyone, let's thank. Yes, you have a doubt.
And
Yes.
thank you for and thank you for having no programming.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it simple because I know that you guys are learning programming throughout your classes. So I just don't want to repeat programming in here. Sorry, that's my...
Ma'am, I wanted to say that regarding to the form, I'm not understanding the last question because it
I
was
will
actually
help
my-
you with that, Yashika. I'll help you with that. For now, let's thank Mr. Vijay Pravin Maharajan. Let's all thank him for sharing so much information.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for teaching us.
Nice day.
Thank you, sir.
So for somebody who is
Thank
who
you,
is going to
sir.
you, sir.
Australia, goodbye. But for others, have a good day.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Take care. Yeah, love you all.
Bye, sir.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir, for teaching us, and bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Before leaving, champs, please fill out the form. And the last one is, did you invite any friends? Before leaving,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone fill up your form so that we can send you the participation certificate.
Sir, ma'am, what's that last question?
Last question is, did you invite any friend who joined today?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I invited.
So just name the friend who has joined. And if you are the friend, you will name the friend who had invited you.
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, actually, I didn't invite anyone. So,
No problem, no problem. You can keep it blank.
so what's the answer?
You can keep it blank, no problem. I'm sharing the link again. Please fill up the form, everyone.
Sir, there we don't need to put anything.
Yes, the last one, if you have not invited anyone, or if no one has invited you, you have come on yourself, then keep it blank. Yes, you can leave now, Pranav. If you have filled up the form, you can leave.
Ma'am, I invited. Ma'am, I invited.
Okay, so write the name of the friend that you have invited.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, sure, Sidra, you'll get the recording. It will be there on our Facebook page, on YouTube. So what you can do is you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you will get a notification as soon as the recording goes up there.
Ma'am, what's name?
Ma'am, what's the channel name?
I'm sharing it in the chat box.